If I say that the world is round and someone else says it's flat, that's worth reporting. But you might also want to report on a bunch of scientific evidence that seems to support the notion that the world is round.
The journalist's obligation when writing a story is to give equal column space to all sides, or half to one of each side. And if someone says the earth is round and someone says the earth is flat, at some point you're going to make a judgment. The earth is flat people is just flat out wrong. Right. I will not be giving them the attention. We're wasting time, and I'm not doing a service to in my role of informing the public. And so I think journalists are really smart people, and they're highly educated, and they're curious. They have the curiosity that kids have that they still have as adults. That's the other kind of branch of curiosity manifested in society, scientists and journalists. And that's a great thing to have. But at some point, invest your brain energy to recognize when something is fringe.
I'm sorry to have to tell you this, but you are a journalist. You are a journalist.
No, you don't have to apologize.
No, I'm not apologizing.
I host a talk show, so I can't say I'm not a journalist.
Well, not only that, you're in pursuit of questions.
Yes. I agree that I'm a journalist, as are scientists who ask questions. The only part of the question we don't ask is the who.
Here's the thing. If you had a political faction that insisted that we teach that the world is flat, and it's a conspiracy of scientists and others who published these pictures where the world was round. After a while, people would insist that you not teach that anymore. Well, let me say that the evidence for the age of the Earth is every bit as compelling. The Earth is 4.5 billion years old, not 6 or 10,000 years old.
Why did this report come out?
But Bill, isn't it a problem when science guys attempt to bully other people? I mean, Nick here had to say, I'm not a denier. He had to get it up. I'm not a denier, because really, the science group has tried to shame anyone who dares question this, and the point I'm trying to make is it's not working with the public.
Even a political conspiracy. My friends, these people are so out of touch with science that they believe rising sea levels don't matter because in their view the extra water is just going to spill out over the sides of a flat Earth. They're wrong, obviously. For the benefit of those who may still question the 97% of peer-reviewed studies on climate change, let me just underscore, you don't need to be a scientist to know that the Earth is round, that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, and that gravity is the reason that objects fall to the ground. You could pick 100 different examples of simple things that happen every day that reflect science and determinations of science. And you don't need to be a scientist.
This is happening. It's happening now. It's happening faster than scientists had predicted it would. And it's happening to greater degrees than scientists predicted it would. And we need, as responsible leaders, to take account of science, not some cockamamie ideological hypothetical, but science. And we need to make clear that those members of the Flat Earth Society are on the wrong side of history. We are going to make Paris the demarcation point where we begin to get the job done to save the planet, period.
They've been talking down new sources of energy. They dismiss wind power. They dismiss solar power. They make jokes about biofuels. They were against raising fuel standards. I guess they like gas guzzlers. They think that's good for our future. We're trying to move towards the future. They want to be stuck in the past. And we've heard this kind of thinking before. Let me tell you something. If some of these folks were around when Columbus set sail, they must have been founding members of the Flat Earth Society. They would not have believed that the world was round. But more broadly, we've got to move beyond partisan politics on this issue. I want to be clear. I am willing to work with anybody, Republicans, Democrats, Independents, libertarians, Greens, anybody to combat this threat on behalf of our kids. I'm open to all sorts of new ideas, maybe better ideas, to make sure that we deal with climate change in a way that promotes jobs and growth. Nobody has a monopoly on what is a very hard problem, but I don't have much patience for anyone who denies that this challenge is real. We don't have time for a meeting of the Flat Earth Society.
What responsibility do you think members of the media have to portray science correctly?
Yeah, I think the media has to sort of come out of this ethos that I think was in principle a good one, but it doesn't really apply in science. The ethos was whatever story you give, you have to give the opposing view, and then you could be viewed as balanced. In the clip that you showed of the president, you don't talk about the spherical Earth with NASA in it and then say, oh, now let's give equal time to the flat earthers. Plus, science is not there for you to cherry pick. You know, I said this once, and it's gotten a lot of internet play. I said the good thing about science is that it's true whether or not you believe in it. All right? I guess you can decide whether or not believe in it, but that doesn't change the reality of an emergent scientific truth.
My friends, these people are so out of touch with science. You don't need to be a scientist to know that the Earth is round.
The mainstream media is owned by only a handful of megacorporations with vested interests. But on the other hand, the internet is an interconnected network of billions of sources. So you can research information for yourself.
Here's Rob Skiba breaking it down.
Hey. All right, do you see Photoshop?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And if those of you who think this technical difficulty was planned and think I'm scamming you, go do it for yourself. Because you're going to find the exact same thing. I got nothing to hide here. This is live on the air, okay? I'm going to zoom in on the Earth in Photoshop. Can you see the Earth?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to go to Image, Adjust, Levels, and I'm going to bring the levels over here. And I'm going to bring the levels up. Uh-oh. What is that?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, wow. Why is there a square box around the Earth allegedly taken from the scientists on the moon in Apollo 17? And people wonder why I don't trust NASA. That's why I don't trust NASA. I mean, they're always out there saying, you know, Rob, everybody's trying to show you stuff from space and you keep rejecting it. This is why I reject it. These guys are liars. I mean, anybody who has Photoshop can just go to the NASA website, download the photo, do exactly what I did, see for yourself. Then you got other pictures like this, the blue marble, right, that come out. Okay, well, there's a big problem with the blue marble, and I'm going to zoom in here and show you what the problem is. These are all composite images where they are really not very good at Photoshop because they're using the Photoshop clone tool to replicate clouds. This cloud is a copy of this cloud. See the formations? They're identical. Identical formations, side by side.
Wow.
Right? These right here, side by side, side by side. See this kind of W-looking shape right here, replicated right here. This cloud is exactly the same as that cloud. You know, same clouds right there, and same thing on the other side of the world. They got the same thing going on. They got careless. Here, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the same formations replicated right there. These two replicated, same exact formations right here. This right here is clone of that right there. I mean, really? So you're telling me that we could take pictures of Jupiter and Saturn, huge, massive planets, and now we're out going to Pluto, but we don't have one legitimate picture of the Earth from space that's not a composite? Really?
They can't prove the globe because it doesn't exist. Because people are waking up. And no matter how much they try to suppress this flat earth movement, oh, it's going to keep moving one way or another.
Which way does it go? East to west or west to east? Well, it worries me. I bet the children will know.
I shouldn't worry. You can teach them far more important things.
Various currents and temperatures and everything make a lot of sense on the flat Earth model, where these hot temperatures right here was essentially the equatorial region on the globe,
model, this is where the sun and moon would be going around.
The world is around, see? But we all know it's a flat, right?
Of course it's flat. Sure, I know the world is flat.
Well, so do I. Everybody knows that.
Good.
The same phenomenon Eratosthenes measured could be explained by a flat Earth if the sun were only a few thousand miles away and 32 miles across. The math would work out the same.
The tree grew and became strong, and it reached to heaven, and it was visible to the ends of the whole earth. Daniel 4:11. And the moon will not give her light, and the stars will fall from heaven. Matthew 24:29. How is this possible? How? Behold, he is coming with the clouds, and every eye will see him. Revelations 1:7. We have to look to the truth of the Word of God. The world has lied to us. Satan, the god of this world, has blinded the eyes of those that can't see the truth. There's connections. We need to look and see different. Think. Could everything be connected? Could the world system be set up to destroy the foundations of God with NASA? With science? Right from the beginning, the foundations of God's Word have been tampered with, have been distorted. Satan is the god of this world, and he's distorting everything with his agencies set up to deceive us. Look at what NASA presents us. CGI, paintings, composites, stitched together. Where are the pictures of the Earth? Why is it that there is only 2 images of the Earth? Where's the HD footage of the spinning Earth? Real pictures, real video. They even admit on their website, these are fakes. These are not real. We've been lied to about our world. It's time for you to look into the truth. Research. It can be crazy to think. No, we know it has to be real. The cognitive dissonance is running through society. You don't want to wake up, but it's like the Matrix, and it's better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man. Psalms 118:8. The world's lies. The earth does not orbit the sun. Everything orbits around us. We're geostationary. We're motionless.
This was the Hebraic concept of the universe, and they were not alone. Like I said, there are many, many other cultures that believe the same thing. So looking at our whisper down the line, we have the guys toward the source material saying we are on a circular, still flat earth set on pillars under a dome within which are